Okay, but
Let's go.
we also, this is a commitment. So we're going to wait for you to come and sit down.
I'm drinking a beer.
You're not going to have a beer.
I'm drinking a beer. Ginger beer.
In a beer.
I'm having ginger.
So welcome everyone to Conversations with
Want a beer?
Mark and Yolanda.
Want a beer?
We're not having a beer, sit down.
We're having a beer.
No, it's too early for a
Ginger.
beer.
Oh my God, look at my head. What happened? That kind of shocked me. What did you do? I had black hair last night. What did you do to
You
me?
didn't have black hair last night. You've had this get up for a while now.
Oh,
So
no memory loss.
today is actually kind of an exciting day. I'm actually excited about it because I have followed this beautiful lady since she was on.
Megan Trainor is here. Megan Trainor. And I'm a huge fan. I've been asking on it, please get Megan Trainor.
She's better than Megan Trainor, I think.
We actually,
the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to be kind of having the conversations with people that are involved in fashion, makeup, artists.
fashion, look at this head. That is fashion right there. Carrie Underwood will be our guest. She is.
Carrie Underwood's not going to be.
She's not here.
Yeah, don't exaggerate. So anyway, I followed Gordana since she was on Project Runway, and I loved her fashion. I loved her designs because they're very, I want to say sexy, but very feminine, very whimsical, very
whimsical. I don't use
classically.
birthday.
Yes, because she uses a lot of. If you look her up, her fashions are just amazing. So we're gonna, she's gonna share her story, how she got started, where she comes from, and also share her experience on Project Runway. And so I'm excited. And the reason I'm excited is because, you know, she's a celebrity designer, and I put it out there to the universe that I was going to have a fashion designer on our show. And I thought I was talking to her because now she makes these amazing face masks.
Oh, is that what
Here's what I said. I said, if I am going to have to wear something over my face, it has to be beautiful and it has to be fashionable because I love fashion. And if I have to cover this face, it's going to be with something beautiful. So I saw her, she posted her profile picture, had this beautiful mask with a feather, and I was like, okay, I've got to have one of those. So I picked up a few from her, and so I said, I'm going to put it out there, and I asked her, I was like, the worst that can happen is she says she can't do it. But she replied, and she said, yes, I would love to be on your conversations. And so I'm very excited. Oh my God, the dog's going to drop this lamp.
Oh, don't worry about that. Yolanda did get me a face mask, but it covered my whole head, the whole thing. And she said it was fashion. I don't know why. She goes, no, just cover the whole thing. Because the whole thing. I really like the whole thing. Goes, yes, and use a plastic bag. I'm like, okay, baby girl, it's kind of hot in here.
And I actually did get a couple for Mark that she designed.
I do wear them too.
Yes, he does, and he actually likes them. And what I like about them is that they're easy to breathe in. All the other ones I had a hard time breathing in.
I've been putting them over my eyes.
So I am happy to introduce everyone to Gordana.
Oh my God! Wait, what a theme song? We didn't do a theme song for her. We were supposed to bring out music and had a whole orchestra prepared.
What was your orchestra?
I sent them home. I thought it was going to be 11 o'clock. That's my bad.
Jordana, this is my husband, Mark. Mark, this is Jordana. Now, I don't know how to say your last name. How do you say your last name? Oh, wait a minute. I have to unmute you. Say it again. Okay, there you are. Say it again.
That's what I said. I said, I think you have muted my mic.
Yes.
So, first of all, sorry to disappoint that I'm not Megan Trainor.
Much better than Megan Trainor. Much better.
Oh, thank you. My last name is Gehlhausen.
Gehlhausen. I was trying to practice it last night. I'm like, okay, how would it sound if I said it? And so I was like, no, I'd rather ask her how it's said because I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah.
Because I always know that people always say my last name. It's either my last name's Martinez, and sometimes they'll say Martinez. And I'm like, okay, it's not Martinez, it's Martinez. So I don't like to mispronounce people's names. So, but welcome to Conversations with Mark and Yolanda. I'm so happy to have you. And I'm grateful that you were able to say yes.
Oh, of course. It was so funny, like when you started talking about the masks and stuff, like I actually just made some for myself, and I'm like, I'm not going to wear this surgical thing. I mean, obviously I'm not in a hospital industry, so I didn't have to wear the surgical mask. But I'm like, everybody that I go outside looks so like, I don't know, like sterile with their mask. I'm going to make something cute. And I just posted it on Facebook for me, like I'm like facing the virus in style, and my social media exploded.
Yes. Wow.
Like I wasn't even planning to do it, but it's like, hey, nobody's going on a red carpet right now anyway. So
that's right.
It has kept me busy, and I'm so grateful for it,
Well, they are beautiful. I mean, I went out to the store on Saturday and I had 2 people, and I texted you. I'm like, okay, you got 2 more referrals. I mean, it's like amazing how people are like, I don't want to wear this blue thing on my face anymore. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, look, I said if I'm going to wear something on my face, it's going to be pretty and it's going to be fashionable. So,
like it's so funny. Like I'm actually working kind of backwards, with my business, because I'm not really a business person. I just want to design.
Yeah.
And so my son is finally working on getting me a website for my masks, because it's like so many people are like, well, what about if my friends are not on social media, so I keep giving my phone number and this and that. So finally he's going to put it all together for me, so you can just click on it and do a payment, not even to talk to me.
Yeah, perfect. That'll be perfect, because I've been giving out your phone number, and if they're on social media, I'm like, this is her name, look her up, send her a private message, and she'll make it for you.
But it's funny, like I really believe in life, like when you're supposed to be doing something, somehow the universe provides the situation and the opportunity. It's like I have a degree, like I studied linguistics and physical education, so from Germany. But I did clothing all my life, like everything I wore pretty much was the stuff that I made. But it's kind of like almost like if you're eating with spoons all your life, you don't think to make a business out of that spoon. That's how it was so natural. And it was actually Americans made me a designer. I when I came here, like in Europe, when you wear something cool, people look at you and you hope for the best reasons.
Yeah.
But Europeans are a little bit more like guarded. They don't go like, oh my God, like I love your outfit. Where did you get it? Or anything like that. Where I came to America, and I mean, people were stopping me on the streets, and then I got kids right away. My kids are only like 18 months apart, and everything for boy was blue, and everything for girl was pink. I loved like the idea of grown-up fabrics, but making it for a child, for a baby, And I remember like taking my children to a park, and the moms went nuts. Like I got orders, like just taking my kids to park. And that's pretty much how fashion started for me. And it really made me realize that if you love doing something, if you truly have a passion for something, just do it.
That's right.
Don't worry about where it takes you, because I'm telling you, it will take you where you're supposed to go. I am the example of it.
And you talk about that a lot.
In fact, one of the young ladies listening is Saba, and she's into fashion too, and she's a creator too. So she was all excited about seeing you up here. It's like, oh my God. So yeah. So you've been doing fashion for quite a while then, huh? What got you interested since a child?
You know what is funny? Like people, yeah, from childhood. Like I remember like when Tim Gunn was asking me, you know, like where did I learn how to knit? And I said to him, like, well, in my village it's a lifestyle. You give me a sheep and I make you a sweater. And like they played that like few times on TV, and it was so funny. But it's really the truth, you know. It's like I was using like onion peel to dye my fabric because I grew up in a really small Bosnian village, you know. Like it's not like you could go somewhere like Walmart and get fabrics or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I'm so like grateful for it now because it's like it has given me the opportunity to think outside of the box. I can make you something out of anything. And yeah, so it's like my mom finally was like hiding scissors from me because anything I could possibly cut, I was cutting, you know. That's blankets, sheets, you know, using onion peel, berries, all kinds of stuff to dye fabrics, you know.
Well, I
And
remember one of your designs in because I was just watching a replay. You made the dress that had the little red. It had like a jewel, red jewel, and then the shoulder part was metal. It was like mesh, and then the flowy skirt with little squares of it looked like metallic material. And they asked you, like, why didn't you just stay with one material? And I was like, why would you want to stay with one material? The whole part of assembling, huh?
My experience on Project Runway was so like intimidating for me, I have to say. You know, like first of all, I'm not the type of person, you know, that you meet and it's like you go like, oh, you open a boutique, you know. Like I mean, I really like when people say like they started with nothing. I mean, long road travel, I had to carve my road first of all. Like I divorced when I was 30 and my kids were like small, and I'm like, what the hell am I'm probably the only woman in America. I didn't take any child support, alimony, nothing. I'm like, let's just be the best parents, and I'm young, I'm healthy, I will figure out, you know. And so like I started working in cosmetics in a department store, and just to have some kind of job, you know. And and I became so good like with color and stuff. Then I became manager. Then I was able to buy a house. Then I borrowed against equity. Then I opened. I just nobody would give me like space, you know, for a boutique. So I asked this gallery that already existed if they would rent me like sublease just one room, you know. And they did it. And then from there, I went to another location that was just my own, but still not the main street. And I end up in the main street. I'm really like, I did everything like kind of the way when you say like, well, how do I start?
Yeah.
That's pretty much, I mean, nobody helped me. Banks would be like, who the hell are you? You don't even have a credit. You know? And, but when I opened like my first little studio kind of thing, like in the gallery, I was in every at that time I lived in Charleston, South Carolina, so I was in every newspaper, magazine. I would go to TJ Maxx and buy a men's shirt in white, kind of like cut the bottom part straight, add sheer fabric to it, and then use dyes and texturize them and dye them. So I would buy the shirt like for $10 and sell them for $150.
Oh my gosh,
that's awesome.
but people loved it because they were so unique, and I had to find a way to make things, but it wouldn't cost me much, you know. So yeah, it was a long road traveled. And I remember like I had a boutique finally on the main street of called King Street in Charleston.
Yeah.
press form and the sewing machine. And people started coming in and saying, you should be on that show. And I'm like, what show? I had no idea,
Yeah.
And so I finally found it on TV, and I'm like, damn, I could be on that show, and there you go, like I tried out, and I remember like when I made it on my season, the producer said that after 10,000 applicants, they stopped counting. It's insane. Just to make it on the show is a big deal.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you went in with, because I saw the audition, you came in with two dresses. What else did you have? You had like 4 items, and they were all very unique.
Yeah, it was supposed to be three outfits, and you're supposed to bring a model, but it's not. It was optional,
Yeah.
But the audition was in Miami, so I went to Miami. I'm like, at least I will get a little vacation out of it, I didn't know anybody there. I'm not going to go hire some models and whatever. So I'm like, I will just show them, like, I show them my knits. I show them like something tailored and something more whimsical, so they can kind of see the quality of my work. And that's when Tim Gunn was asking me about the knitting. And then when I walked in, they're like, oh, you don't have a model? And I'm like, look, I mean, clothing is not sold on a model. It's sold on a hanger. If it's anything, you will be able to recognize it. And Tim Gunn is like, well said, Gordana. I mean, but I have to say, I was really, really intimidated because there were 16 designers, and we were supposed to bring our own tools. And honestly, I only had measuring tape, scissors, few pins, and a marker, and that were my tools. And I come in there, and people are bringing out of their boxes, stuff I have never seen before. And this one, I have been interning with, this designer. I went to school to London. I went to school this, and here I am, a village girl, who only knows what scissors look like, trying to make it. It was so freaking intimidating.
Yeah, but I think you stood out because you thought outside of the box.
Well, that, and also like I just honestly, what my biggest problem was, honestly, I always finish first. And then when you finish, then you start overthinking. Then you go like, well, should I do it? Maybe it's not good enough because I finished first. And then, I was helping everybody. And I remember like one time Tim is like, well, Gordana, this is like, how smart is this to be helping other people? This is a competition, I'm like, Tim, I mean, if this is who I am as a person, I cannot change now just because
right.
He's like, that's why I love you. And but yeah, I mean, it was like, it's almost like every day you're supposed to make a dinner to the most important guest of your life, but you have know who they are and what their taste is.
Yeah.
It's like you really are pushed to tap into yourself and go like, okay, like right now I'm actually working. I got invited to do a competition. Have you ever heard of Eurovision? It's a really popular in Europe. So what it is, each country finds composes a new song, and they all compete in the country that won the song of the year previously. And then the country that song is from cannot vote for it, but it's other countries can vote for it.
Okay.
They choose the best song of the year for the whole Europe,
Oh.
So the same concept somebody is starting to do here with fashion. So it would be like 11 of us, and we are all from different countries, and it's going to be televised. And I think they're filming it the 12th of September. So I'm going to compete in it. And so I have been kind of like, I mean, and you have to make something that's kind of like, they told us, like they give you like just the subject, which is like in this situation pop fashion, but it has to be like museum worthy.
Okay.
And it's like, where do you really get your inspiration? You cannot get inspiration anywhere. You really have to tap into yourself, do your best, and just let it be.
Yes.
And that's why I never buy any fashion magazine. I never look at any other stuff. I'm just doing my own thing. It's good or it's bad, but at least it's authentic.
Well, you've designed some pretty, like Carrie Underwood just did her
Yeah.
cover with
Yeah.
one of your designs, and
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, I think actually Mark was right when he said a little bit whimsical. I really believe that my fashion is, I do want to kind of like embody the whole elements of a woman. It's like how I see woman. I see her as being powerful, as being elegant, whimsical, sexy, like, but nothing too much. I don't want to, it needs to be, it's almost like the right balance in a good dish. You don't
Yeah,
overpower thing over the other, or one spice over the other. So
that's right. No, and that's what I like about your designs is that they're very, I mean, they're very feminine, and it does embody what a woman looks like. Not physically, but when they put on a gown, or when they put on a dress, or when they put on that top that makes them feel like
yeah,
sexy, powerful. It's, you embody that, and that's what I loved about your designs. There's
you.
not a lot of fashion designers that I follow that can do that, because it's either they go over the top because they think they have to be over the top and be so revealing that not every woman would feel comfortable wearing that particular item.
But that's the thing. It's like, I don't think we women need to go with the first foot out without a boobs
Yeah.
or butts. I every time I see something like that, I think of like, she believes that's her best attribute. You know,
Yes.
where it's like, I think we are women who do like to go that way out. I think they cut themselves short. You know
Yeah.
and so like I see women a little bit differently, and so I'm actually working now on creating a fashion line that's for women who are my age. I'm 56, and I feel like they're so that my generation, like, and like 40 and up, let's say, we are the healthiest we have ever been in the history of humans. We might I might as well live to be 100 easily.
I know.
So we think differently. We don't want to be put in a box. We take care of ourselves, we eat healthy, like we work out, we are full of energy. And why not create a fashion that, okay, there are some problems that we might have. How do I still am youthful, elegant, and comfortable at the same time? Because I'm telling you, after like 45, comfort is very important to me, because I care less what it looks like. If I cannot breathe in it, forget it.
That's true. That's so true, though. It's so
Yeah.
true.
So
There's not a lot of the stereotypical designs for women over 40 are very sad. I gotta say,
yeah.
because
And
they
to my son yesterday, because like I said, he's taking on the role to create my website. And because I'm like, man, I love designing. If you just give me the role of designing and even produce stuff, perfect. But if I have to sit in front of a screen for hours to do marketing, to do this, to do that, it's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, honestly, it's not like I'm coming out of a narcissistic point of view, but I'm like, why not me also being my own model and show all the problems that I have and be like, okay, well, I don't really like my neck right now all that much. Why not wear like summer turtleneck? That's like, it could be like in my house, it's obviously like, plus we live. Do you know, like I woke up this morning, it was 72 degrees in the house and I don't have AC on.
Wow.
Yeah, because I live practically next to the ocean, so it's always breezy and stuff like that. So you see me in the day in a turtleneck, it's actually okay where I live. but yeah, like, I mean, to be like, okay, this is my problem and this is how I solve it, or this is how, what you can do. Because I had boutiques, like for 15 years, and I was so successful because I knew how to style a woman, like as soon as she walked in, I was already dressing her and
Yeah.
seeing her attributes, seeing like how do I make her look taller? How do I make her look like she has longer arms and this and that. And that's why my boutiques, even through the like economic crisis, they survived, all of them. It's just recently I decided to close them because honestly, the more popular I became, the more I became a slave to my own business. Because if I'm in one boutique, it does well. And then I go to another one, it does well, but they're always waiting for me. I couldn't travel, I couldn't do anything. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're paying so much money for these rents, you're paying for people. I might as well close when I'm not in there, because everybody wanted me.
Yeah, because you have your boutiques. You had them in downtown San Diego and Santa Monica.
Yeah, I had San Diego, Santa Monica, Charleston, and Columbia, South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just it's just I felt like I didn't enjoy it anymore because I was so pulled, from really the true nature of designing. Because, and then what happened, especially like after Project Runway, like I had my studio like in these boutiques as well, so I would be working, and sometimes people just come in wanting to know, how is Tim Gunn, how is Heidi Klum, and I'm like, dude.
Oh.
But hey, I mean, I am not complaining, because when the economy fell, my husband is in a construction, he does like the construction management and stuff. He lost his job, he has been without job for years, and I have been supporting us with fashion.
Wow.
Yeah, so no, I mean, fashion has been good to me, I have to say, and it's still giving.
It's awesome. I mean, you've done so much for it. I mean, you should be, getting a lot from it too. So, but I love that you still enjoy it and that you realize, like you said, your boutiques were guiding you or driving you to not enjoy it as much because of you needing to be there.
Through my experiences, and I lived in different countries and stuff like that, I have learned to listen to the universe, or maybe my own intuition, I don't know what it is. But whatever we are doing, it's not supposed to be a struggle. If it starts to become a struggle, that means the universe is telling you something is off and you need to have the courage to change it. I remember like when I decided to close the boutiques, and my husband at that time still didn't have a job, and he's like, well, what's your plan B? And what's your plan A? It's like, and then I created this like completely backless bra that I created a pattern for it too, and sold the pattern. So I was able to still survive financially. But I mean, really, I'm telling you, when you do something, passion is the most important thing. Obviously, health. I mean, you cannot have anything without health. But after that, finding a passion, finding something that you're passionate about, and just leave it to the universe.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. I guess, don't listen to the universe, I should say.
But because you are scared, like, and I understand that, when your bills are piling up and you have all the everyday stress and that fear is so like it's blocking us from everything, but it's so easy to get into that fearful moment. I mean, look at the situation now. It's like so many people have lost their jobs, but the bills still keep on going, And when you're in a situation like that, it's hard to be like, okay, I surrender to the universe,
Yeah.
So
That is true, because we were in a restaurant and we were talking to the waitress, remember? And she said something, and it hit me because I thought that is so true, because she said people are living in fear.
absolutely.
But the people that don't run their life living in fear are forced to live in fear.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, that is so true, because we are very much alike, where we don't, it's like he gets an idea and he goes for it. Or if we get an idea, we go for it. We don't think about fear stopping us from doing it. And so when she said that, I was like, oh my God, that is so true. The people that don't run their life on fear, because everybody else, I mean, if you look at people when you go out, the look on their face is like fear in itself. Yeah. And she's like,
even if you just look at social media, what's happening, like, oh my God, people are, and they are so angry. People are angry. Like they want to attack you for anything. That's why I'm like, I'm not politician. I'm not a Che Guevara. I don't think I'm going to change anything. I just want to make pretty clothes.
That's right. That's how we are. I read stuff and it's like, I share it with him sometimes and I'm like, why are people so angry? I mean, why are they, it's like, you can't say anything anymore. You can't talk about anything because everybody gets
rights itself on freedom of speech, but God forbid you say something somebody doesn't agree upon it,
Yeah, exactly.
Your head will be chopped off. But I mean, look, it's like I if I don't know a subject, I don't, unless I'm going to research into it and see like, okay, I have gained some understanding or knowledge, I'm not even going to volunteer,
Yeah.
So that's why I stay away from everything. I mean, I have so many like hobbies that I like, and it's not always just fashion involved. I love decorating, and like we just purchased a house about like a year ago, and I'm already ready to sell it and move into a new one because I'm like, I already finished this one,
You're like, I'm done with this project.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
Okay, I love gardening, like I have planted like 15 fruit trees around this house. And
oh my goodness.
I have like tomatoes coming out of my ears and zucchini.
He started a garden in our front yard.
It's so rewarding to see, like, it's almost like you are creating a new life, to see, you feel the energy of these trees and they're so beautiful. I look at them like my babies,
Yeah. Well, I planted an avocado tree. He started a garden. So it just brings a different kind of feeling when you're like, when you see it sprouting and growing. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, I think like, first of all, I am creating the new clothing line that's going to be accessible. I want something, like the In-N-Out burger. I want like In-N-Out clothing. And I actually have an idea. Like, ask any woman, the first thing she does when she comes home is take her bra off.
Yes.
So I want to have a clothing that's kind of like, if you decide to leave your house, you don't have to go change, put your bra on and stuff like that. But it's already, you just do one movement and you already have the bra on you. I cannot say much more because I need to have it patented.
Of course.
but that's my, it's like that's my next step. And obviously I will be involved in fashion one way or the other, you know, like I always get like orders from people or something, but I also am doing like now, like I love remodeling homes. It's
Oh,
just I can walk into a space and know right away which wall needs to be removed. I can judge the feng shui or the light in there. I'd be like, okay, this needs that color, this needs that color. Like my house is messy, but you see, like I have a lot of like light and plants and, you know, like I love it. I love bringing that life into a space. And I think I would like also to really, really like tap into that as well.
you do a lot of that, or you used to do a lot of that.
I've done a lot of that in the past. Yeah, we've done a lot of remodels. I've done a lot of
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is like I'm convincing my husband to sell this house and buy another one that just needs some TLC, you know?
Yeah,
So
that's
we'll see how
yeah,
that goes.
we've done a lot of remodeling to our house, and now he's like, well, maybe we should sell it and buy something else, and I'm like, okay, then what?
Then you do it again.
And exactly, then we do all the work again.
Honestly, I think the most important thing for anybody, you know, like who is aging or something like that, to always keep your mind active and get new challenges and learn new things, you know. I want, like, I remember when I was younger, you know, like in high school and stuff, I used to be good in singing and I had talent for music. So I really want to also learn how to play guitar and stuff, because guitar is, you can take it with you, you know, like, and stuff. The only thing is like my poor fingers are always so busy, like with something that I never have time for it.
Yeah,
But it's so important to rediscover yourself, you know.
yeah.
Like my children are now like 29 and 28, and
Wow.
like when I'm around them I don't feel like I'm older, you know, or something like that. It's almost like to keep that energy, you know, like to all, and that's what actually gives you the energy, doing something new, reading a new book, learning something new. I'm also a member on Gaia, and oh my god, like I love all these topics, and while I'm sewing I can actually learn something. It's so fascinating, you know.
Yeah.
And so but yeah, I mean, I admire Karl Lagerfeld. This dude died doing something he loves. That's what I want to be. I want to die being a designer. I don't want to retire. I don't want to retire.
No, I think retirement is
Overrated.
overrated. Exactly. I mean, you can take a break from what you're doing and
Yeah,
relax
like
for
go
for
travel, something,
take a
experience.
vacation, and there's your retirement for 2 weeks. You know.
My husband and I choose at least 2 new destinations a year that we have not been to. Like we just came back from, we went to Azerbaijan, Baku, like that area, because we have never been to. I came back February 29th because it was a leap year. And there was like few days after that, everything was closed. I'm like,
Oh
man,
my God.
that like catching
We
the last train.
Yeah, we were traveling too, because when we got back, it was like 2 or 3 days later. It was like everything was shut down. We're like,
I
what
know.
happened? You know, it's like you're gone for a few weeks, and then you come back, and it's like a totally different city. You
Yeah.
know, how did you when you were, because you did Project Runway first? How
Mhm.
did you how did you end up? I mean, how did that end for you when that season ended at
I
Project Runway?
I end up like on out of 16 designers, I end up on fourth place. But for some reason, I became the most popular in my season. I think people liked me because I don't really fight. I'm more like I am more like, I believe in kindness and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and I don't believe like in bashing people, you know, in order to make yourself look better or something. and I think people could kind of like feel it of me.
Yeah.
So when Project Runway was celebrating 10 seasons, they invited me to represent my season. So, and I designed the dresses that were sold at Lord and Taylor in Fifth Avenue in New York.
Yeah.
And, so there was each season has its own designer that it was representing the season. So even though I didn't win, they chose me to represent my season. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, and then I did All Stars, even though I got really sick on All Stars. So they kind of didn't show that I was sick, and that's why I was eliminated. But yeah, I was eliminated because I was sick, you know, like I fainted on stage. They didn't show it.
Oh
But
my goodness.
I'm fine now. But
So I'm fine now. I fainted.
hey,
It happens.
I never fainted before. That was an experience. It was something new.
Why did you faint?
I think it was like I was so busy with my store in San Diego, and I was trying to do so much before I went to New York. And then we came to New York, and it was a record heat day, and they were doing a challenge that was like unconventional challenge, and we were going into the dollar store, and something happened with cameras, and we were outside for 2 hours,
Oh
and
my gosh.
it was I think I got a heat stroke or something like heat,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
plus I'm not a spring chicken, you know, so things happened to our little bit older hens. But
Yeah, 'cause a lot of the designers that were on the show, they were really young.
yeah, a lot of people young. I was 44 when I did my first season, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what is interesting? When I did All Stars, it was only like maybe 2-3 of us who still were in designing, you know, because a lot of people, like through the economy, you know, like in 2008 when it crashed, a lot of people had to quit designing and go into like either be restaurant managers, or like they completely switched, you know, like careers. And
Yeah.
so I my my coffee machine is shutting off by itself. Like, okay, nobody's making coffee, let's shut it off.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah,
So
like
what are your so your both of your kids are not in fashion?
my daughter, actually, she graduated in school, which kind of like it's kind of like Parsons, and she did motion graphics. So she does like motion graphics. She works. She's independent contractor, but she works for Amazon Prime TV.
Oh,
And
okay.
she does like all these like cartoons and movies. And you know what is funny? A few months ago, she sends me a picture of Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum and said, "Guess what I'm working on?" And they have a show on Amazon called Making a Cut, and she was working on something on that show. But so she's very, very creative. She did the music video for that All Country Road with Cyrus, whatever his name is, the
Billy Ray Cyrus?
Billy Ray Cyrus, and there were like few different artists that they made it kind of like into pop song. So
Okay.
there is that music video that looks like Area 51.
Yeah.
So there were like 4 of them. So she was part of it, of making the music video. So she's very, very talented.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
And
really
my
neat.
son is he's the type of guy who doesn't want to follow the norm, you know, to do like the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of like stock market stuff, and like he's kind of like into the making it rich scheme kind of. And
Well, it's just interesting that sometimes they don't, even though they're around it with you, the fashion and the designing, that neither of them
No.
went.
My daughter, like she's very pretty. So she's like 5'9", 5'10", and skinny, tall, beautiful, like very photogenic. And
Yeah, I
like
saw her picture.
when she was younger, I would kind of steal her to be my model every once in a while. But then she'd be like, "Mom, this is not for me," you know. And she cannot even sew a button. I mean, it's like. But you know what? She's very, very talented in art. Like I remember, like when she was 7 years old and did a portrait of a family.
Oh, we lost her. What happened?
The phone went back up.
Oh, she's just okay.
And but yeah, I mean, I knew right then. Like I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe the talent that she had. See,
Yeah, I saw the video. I saw the video you posted.
Yeah, my talent is 3D, and her is on a pen and paper type of deal.
Well, this is I really enjoyed having you with us.
Thank
you. People will not. I will have to keep keep in touch with you so that when you have your website up for your other fashion designs, I can share it with everyone.
Thank you.
For now, I'll just keep referring people to your Facebook page or
yeah, definitely. Honestly, if anybody wants something, they always find me. So
yeah. So,
but thank you so much for inviting me, and nice meeting
you. Maybe next time we're in LA or the Orange County area, we'll have to get together with you and
absolutely
meet in person.
Love
definitely.
We would have been there by now. We're scheduled to be there, but Orange County Fair is not open, so we'd be doing the show at the Orange County Fair right now.
Yeah. I am like in. I live in a peninsula. That's. Do you know Palos Verdes?
Yes.
Okay, that kind of area. It's really nice and peaceful, and like the best air quality I think in Los Angeles, because it's kind of a hill and you have ocean all around you, so it's always a breeze and always nice, a lot of oxygen around.
Because you're up above, not below in LA. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm
my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Honored to have you with us. And we'll be in touch. I have some ideas because I love fashion. I was a model for 20 plus years, and so for me, I was like you. I was always the one helping, and so everybody's like, "You're in a competition," and I'm like, "I'm not competing with anyone but myself."
No, absolutely.
I'm not going to change who I am. If somebody needs something, if I have it, I'm going to give it to them. And if they win because I gave it to them, good for them,
Yeah.
But
the same way.
Yeah. So, well, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person for sure, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for dedicating this 1 hour with us and for saying yes to my invitation.
Absolutely.
Well, you have a nice day. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Wow, that was awesome. Very interesting. She does come from a small town, like she said, a small village, Serbian village in Yugoslavia, in Bosnia. So, when she says she's worked her way up, she has in the fashion industry, and we wish her the best in everything that she does. And I'm actually looking forward to meeting her and maybe doing something with her for women's fashion. So thank you guys for joining us. We will see you on Friday. You guys have a good rest of the day, and thank you for joining us. You've been awfully quiet.
Fashion, honey. It's fashion. What was I going to talk about? My hair?
Talk about that. Yeah, talk about your hair.
My hair's short and I need to comb it.
Yeah, and we need to do something about this.
I'm going to go shave it off.
It's too white now with your blonde. I like your blonde hair, but this kind of clashes. This white.
I'm going to go trim it down.
Why?
Trim it down. Because... Okay.
Everyone, have a good day. Thank you for joining us. We will talk to you on Friday.